most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi folks, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
We are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Brad, today we're going to talk about 10 surprising things that are giving you poor, crappy, ugly posture.
Look at this.
Yeah, and we're going to show you how to correct these things too. We're not just going to leave you hanging.
These are things that you don't even think about, and they're promoting this poor posture and giving you aches and pains and neck ache and back ache.
And making you look older.
Right, exactly.
And you don't look confident.
Again, Bob, you are right on.
Okay, in case you're new to our channel, by the way, please take a second to subscribe to us. We have a subscribe button over here or maybe down here. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day.
And make you look better.
And we make you look better. That's right. I didn't even include that one. Okay, let's talk about number one, Brad. Lonnie, I'm going to stand up. I always have to tell her that. I'll get my head cut off.
Yeah. Don't worry if your head's cut off, then you still got mine.
Very common, Brad, is a lot of people, they lock their knees.
Sure. Right down here.
And once they lock their knees, what they're trying to, they're seeking stability, Brad. Yep.
You can see that how it's, you do hyperextend just a little bit, don't you?
I do. I hyperextend, exactly. And I used to stand like this, so I know. You lock your knees and you bring you're kind of thrusting your pelvis forward. You're hanging on your ligaments is what you're doing.
Right.
And look what my upper back is doing. Look how bad that looks.
That sway back.
Yeah. Sway back here, round back up on top.
Right.
Just terrible. So I've learned is that you basically bend your knees a little bit, but you're going to put one leg in front of the other, just like this.
Yep.
And then you kind of lean forward a little bit, and that puts everything in alignment and puts you in a right, nice straight posture. So very simple to do.
Slight bend in the knee, stagger your stance.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, Brad, just to show you how important this is, I had a patient one time that had knee pain, young guy, and he was working at Subway, and he was standing with his legs locked like that. That's all he did, and his legs started to really hyperextend. He got such bad knee pain, he came to see me. We corrected that. That was the only thing we did.
It went away.
It went away. Yep. So,
there you go.
All right, next one is probably even more important, Brad, because we're such a sitting society now.
Sure. Is
that you're sitting in a bad chair. Let's take a bad chair.
Yeah,
first,
we've got a good example.
Yeah, this is a good example. All right, a chair like this. I mean, how can you not help but slump?
Right.
So I really don't like the chairs with a flexible back, Brad.
Sure.
You want a nice solid back that you can really. Lean against and provide you with support.
Right, yep.
You want a chair that's the right height. This chair's too low for me. Do you see how my knees are up like this, Brad?
Yeah. The thighs or the femur should be parallel, not up like this. His bottom is too low, putting stress on his back.
Right. And the other chair that's really bad, Brad, is if you have one that has a scoop seat. You ever see those?
Yeah.
Kind of those plastic ones. And you just get them, and what's the first thing you do? You slide.
Yeah.
You slide down like this.
Yep, they're slippery, slidey, and they don't, yeah.
You got to have room for to put your butt back into the chair, and along with that, to correct that, what ideally you want to do is use some type of support, some type of back support. And, you can start off with just a rolled towel, and you can put that down, around the belt level or even a little bit lower, wherever it feels comfortable.
Right.
And that's going to give you that support. It's going to lock your pelvis in. So even if you're not leaning up against the chair, it's still giving you the support, and you can work at your computer or whatever you're doing. So,
and you'll know it's going to feel good. I use one of these in my car, and it just makes all the difference in the world. In that case, you might want to invest and buy one that you can get from OPTP or another supplier.
Right, people won't talk about you using a rolled towel. I mean, if you put something a little more professional in there.
You bet.
So they have lots of lumbar rolls and supports for your back that you can try. Let's talk about the car right away since we're sitting, Brad.
Sure.
With the car, the same thing. You're going to want to make sure you have a support, but don't have the car lean way back like this.
Exactly.
Because what's the first thing you do? You're going to bring your head forward.
Yep.
And again, round it out.
You get that gooseneck effect. Yeah. There's lots of mechanical forces going on here.
Stress on the neck.
No good.
Yeah. And you don't want to have your arms up like this.
Right.
I mean, you want to keep them down here.
Right.
At the 9. I don't remember what this.
Yeah, the position here as opposed to up here. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So you're going to have to seat upright with that too. All right. This is a simple one too, Brad. A lot of people maybe really know this already, but you don't want to be carrying a heavy purse all day long or bag. So I'd like to think it's a merce, Brad, right? A man purse?
Whatever, Bob, whatever. Look at that. They're just, and then people got these massive purses
Yeah,
and
they
put,
load them up.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look what this person has got a 2-pound hammer. What are you going to be carrying a 2-pound hammer around for?
You never know when you're going to need one. But
Wow.
it's funny, Brad, because it's one of the first things I do when I'm treating a patient with like neck or shoulder or arm pain. I pick up their purse and I go,
We got to do something
Yeah, we
about
gotta
this.
do this. You know, if nothing else, if you're going to do it, you know, keep it fairly loaded. Make sure you're alternating shoulders. So that
Right.
you're taking.
Well, and like this, you
stress
put a book or two in there in your laptop computer.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's-
you're at heavy weights. So, all right, the other one, Brad, you got your phone?
Oh, look at this,
wanna
Bob.
show
I just
texting?
happen to have it with me. And
wanna Yeah.
and then you're trying to get this.
And you're in that flexed posture the
look,
whole
look
time.
at this from here. So what we want to do is get back.
Tyrannosaurus Rex arms, really short arms.
Yeah.
Bring it up and bring it up to you.
And learn to look down with your eyes as opposed to like this.
Right.
You know, it's one of those habitual things, and it works good. You know, if you got bifocals, you know, that works better anyways. Bifocals can help your posture actually in that situation.
Sure. For as much as, you know, we're on the phone, I mean, and I have to think about that because once in a while I find myself going like this. And I just say, oh, that's right.
We
Get
got
the
to
reminder.
self-correct all. I got a phone call, but I'm just kidding.
All right, next one that again might be a surprise to a lot of people that work out a lot, and I've seen this in the gym all the time. People that work the chest too much,
Right.
And they're bench pressing, but they're not doing anything to pull it back the other
Yeah,
way.
you've got to get that balance.
Right. So I mean, I don't know which exercises, but you're gonna have to have a gym where you can pull back like this. And,
Right, you
and
got
work
the
on shoulder.
cables. You can do prone on the bench press and do reverse flies is a real
Sure.
good one to do. Do the stretch in the door. We're not going to get into all that. We've got other things we want to talk
Right.
about.
All right. Too many pillows at night if you're laying on your back. So if I'm laying here and, you know, even let's say, do you want to throw me one more pillow, Brad?
Sure.
If you're watching TV at night and you want to put your head up a little bit, but this is really not a good position to be in for a long period of time.
Hey, look at this. His neck is pushed forward like this, and you know, so you can see the TV. You try to put a few more pillows in there.
And you know what? I think people really don't do this. I find my wife doing this all the time. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is she doing?
Right.
So,
I hope you don't holler at her, Bob.
no, I never. We have a wedding bliss here.
Oh,
so,
good. So look at this.
An alternative to this would be, one, you could also stack up pillows like this
Sure.
underneath you. But
Yep.
these wedges are real nice. If you're going to spend a lot of time, you know, watching TV in bed and stuff like this, invest in a wedge like this.
Yep.
And so now you're like this, and now you can just use one pillow. And you look at this. I'm in good posture. I can see the TV. You know, I can read. You know, I can do the things that you know I want to do at night without, you know, putting my neck at such a bad angle.
That neck problem is something that really can creep up on you.
Okay, another one that is very common, Brad, that we see is that a bad computer setup.
Oh, and there are a lot of them.
So I'll just take this little stool right now.
This is something they've just come up with in the last few years, and this is a great idea.
Yeah. Well, first off, a lot of people have their computer just too low.
Right.
Ideally, what you'd like to have is that almost the top of the computer is level with the top of your head.
Sure.
And so quite often you'll see that, you know, it's down here like this. And what is that going to do? Automatically, you're going to go down like
Right.
this.
Your head gravitates towards the screen, basically.
And it's really true with iPads and with laptops.
Sure.
Because, you know, especially if they don't have the separate keyboard, you know, they want the keyboard down here,
Right.
or even lower,
And the screen's attached to it.
like this. How often do you see this, right,
Right,
Brad?
exactly.
So seriously, if you're going to use the laptop a lot, you really should get a separate keyboard.
Yep.
And so you can have the keyboard down here, you can have the screen up here,
Right.
and you can, you know, have the best of both
Right,
worlds.
and actually putting the keyboard right in your lap is a great place
Yep.
for it as far as the ergonomics with your arm and hands. And they get this up here so that you can, you know, get that head up where it belongs. Makes a big difference.
Now, the other thing you can do, Brad, ideally, is to spend the money and maybe get a sit-stand desk. And that's what this is by Flex-A-Spot. They sent us a couple of these desks, really nice. Brad took his own. I don't know, have you set yours up yet, Brad?
No, we've got another room. It's a whole other project,
That's
actually.
all. It's a thing. So what you can do is actually just go up like this.
Oh, I
You
like
can bring
this,
it
Bob.
right up to you. Look at that.
Yep.
It still have to be a little higher for me for the keyboard, but you can.
Well, Bob's a 6'6", so you know, for me this is just about right. The keyboard is a little high right here.
See, you'd have to probably put a couple books under this.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you could put the keyboard down a little bit, and you'd still have this. And the same for me.
But the idea with these is you're not going to be up here all the time. You're going to be up here for 8-10 minutes.
Right.
Put it down and sit for a while, so your body's continually moving.
Sit for 20, up for 8, and then they say move for 2 minutes. These are all really good things to do. I mean, this really makes it. I started doing this, Brad. I'll stand for just a couple minutes even. What a difference it makes. I mean, it's just your productivity goes up and everything else. So, all right. In addition to that, a lot of people don't have a plan, Brad, for frequent posture corrections. And in other words, throughout the day, I want you to do things like this. You can do chin tucks, because your head's like this. So throughout the day, you do a chin tuck and get your neck in the right position. Your shoulders tend to go forward, so throughout the day, you can do shoulder squeezes.
Yep. Good. Those shoulders back and down.
Your back is forward, so throughout the day, can you throw me that ball, Brad? Here we go. Knew it was going to come fast. You can bend over the chair like this, or if you have a little ball like this, this works really good.
Oh, this is a really nice
Especially if you're having mid-back pain. Oh, this is a great stretch to do.
It's comfortable, and it does just what it's supposed to do to the back. It allows it to stretch backwards.
And the final thing I'd like to see everybody do, Brad, is have a plan. They don't have a plan. The big mistake is they don't have a plan for strengthening. We'll grab the TheraBand there or the Theratubing. You know, you should have one of these around the office or home.
Everyone should have one.
And basically you hook it up to, you know, to the doorway or somewhere, and you're just going to work on doing these.
Or you have your significant other hold it for you. There you go.
And you got to have a lot of trust, as we said before. Okay? All that works out really well. We want you to have good posture, and we want you to be happy. Thanks.